Yo, crime fighters. I just wanted to share my premise on the Wolfhound with you and why I'm kind of naming this project after that. This stems from conversation with a good friend of mine regarding Colonel Grossman's um, comparison of the sheep, the wolf, and the sheepdog. And I'll get into that for those that don't know in a second. But in this conversation with a friend, we had discussions of cops being less aggressive and not being able to act when the right time comes. And so all I'm trying to do with this is take the sheepdog mentality one step further, make it more aggressive. And I'm really not trying to change Colonel Grossman's analogy at all. It's more for the warriors to understand it a little better, um, to have that more aggressive, more dangerous mindset. And so, for those that don't know, the this analogy of the sheep, the wolf, and the sheepdog came from Colonel Grossman, who's written a number of books, including on combat and on killing, and I suggest reading both of those. But I believe it stems from a conversation he had with a Vietnam veteran who explained this analogy to him that the sheep are the general population. They are the majority of people. They are peaceful. They have their head down. They keep to themselves. They do their thing. They are accepting that bad things could happen, but they live in denial. They don't think that those bad things will ever happen to them. Then we have the wolf. The wolf is the evildoer. The wolf is the one that preys upon the sheep without mercy. Um, and this is obviously analogous of criminals. And then we have the sheepdog. Sheepdog is among the herd, lives among the sheep, protects them when the wolf comes. But in this analogy, um, it's written as though the sheepdog waits for the wolf to come. And what I want people to understand, to be more aggressive, you don't wait for that wolf to come, you go find him. So the wolfhound is the pursuer of the wolf, pursuer of evil, hunting it down and finding it before it seeks out the sheep. And just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with Colonel Grossman's analogy, and I love it. Great analogy. I just want, again, to change some of the mindset of um, those who are supposed to be protectors to become more aggressive when they need to be. Keep this in mind. The sheep do not like the sheepdog, and the sheep do not like the wolfhound. It reminds them of the wolf. They look the same, they have the same fangs, the same teeth, the same scary features, um, but it doesn't make the sheepdog or the wolfhound evil. Um, the wolf's actions are what make it evil. Just like with the scary guns that we have, it reminds the sheep of, and when I say the sheep, the general population of the evil um, that evil people do with these big scary guns. Um, but true sheepdogs and true wolfhounds are rare and hard to find, and it's certainly not something that just boils up in you when the time comes. It's something you have to practice. I think it was Heraclitus, if I'm pronouncing that right, who said something along the lines of out of every 100 men, and he was speaking of warriors, people going into battle, soldiers. Out of every 100 men, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 are just targets. 9 are real fighters, and one is a true warrior who will bring everybody back. And that's what the wolfhound is. The wolfhound is the one true warrior out of 100. Um, I'd also like to reference scripture from Romans 13. For the one authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not bear the sword in vain. They are God's servants, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the evildoer. And of course, that's from the Rick James version. But that's just a reminder and enforcer of again the sheepdog and the wolfhound mentality. So that's it. This is in line. This wolfhound mentality is in line with my saying of "be dangerous," and that's why I wanted to bring it out. Um, so until next time, be dangerous.